Welcome to Super Black Comic Book Reviews by Jonathan Soul. All right, family, let's get into the first book. Pick this up on indieplanet.us. Indieplanet with a Y.us. John McCallan's Jonathan Fox in The Monster of Egypt. All right, created, written, and illustrated by John McCallan. For mature readers, there's some little bit of frontal nudity. It's a female character in there, and I would say, like gun violence, fighting, kind of thing. It's just the girl. It's this, if you got teenagers or whatever. All right, then. So, if you guys ever wondered what it would be like to have Idris Elba play Bond, now I'm not a big proponent of that. You know what I mean? Because it's enough creative stuff in the world. I mean, I'd rather have Idris Elba play Easy Rollins. You know what I mean? Denzel did an excellent job. It's all kinds of... I would rather Idris Elba play this guy, Jonathan Fox, right? But that just give you... Jonathan Fox is kind of like this spy, Mr. Fix-It kind of guy, man of adventure kind of deal. Suave, debonair, highly skilled. The book starts out, it's like 12:45 in the morning in Chicago, Illinois. You see a shot of downtown with the big fancy glass buildings and stuff. And you see this guy scaling the building with no ropes, no nothing. He's just in this suit with gloves and fancy shoes scaling the building. Got his glass cutter and everything. He slips in, little pocket flashlight, and he goes and finds the picture, which of course is gonna hide the safe. And he goes into the safe. He cracks the code and pulls out this USB thumb drive. And of course, right then, boop 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 boop. You know what I mean? Hey, we got a break-in and such. It's coming from Hanson's office. And the internal security go, get him! That kind of thing. So and then he fights his way out. He jumps through a window, lands in the roof and he escapes. And next thing you know, after meeting with his employer, he catches a plane to Egypt. You see this in a lot in the book. He, travels from place to place. It's dope. What I was going to say earlier is that if you guys ever saw Art of War, the movie Art of War #1 with Wesley Snipes, it might be hard to find. #2 is easy. #3 doesn't even have what's in it. Art of War #1, when it first came out, was a boss fucking movie. It introduced some technology that wasn't popular back then, popularly known like ceramic guns and this kind of data. This data, like it looked like an iPad, but it was before the iPad came out. And of course, Wesley Snipes. It seemed like during that period, every movie he was in, he introduced some new kick or some new move or whatever. He did this crazy roundhouse kick in that movie a couple times. That was his boss. I think he did it again in Blade 2. Was it Blade 2? Yeah, I think it was Blade 2. Anyway, if you guys wanted like a comic book that kind of felt like a movie with the international man of adventure, like a James Bond kind of, this is your book. Jonathan Fox and the Monster of Egypt, this is your book. Let me see how many pages this thing is. It's like, let's see, it's PDF form. I got it from Peep Game Comics, and it is like 80-something. No, I'm sorry. I got it from indieplanet.us. 80-some pages. The art is decent. It has a painterly Photoshop kind of feel to it, but it's a realistic, it's like realistic. It's not, it's realistic. It's not what you would expect in like a Marvel or DC comic. I would say it's more artsy. It definitely has an indie feel to it. And the pacing is really nice. The character development, I mean, the environments, everything feels like a James Bond movie, except the primary characters are black or brown. And the leading lady, the Bond girl, if you will, of course, she's hot and everything, and it's just a really good book. I went through it. I'm going through it again. It's a very good read. It's the kind of book, I got the digital, it's the kind of book I want the print copy, and I wanted to add it to my collection. So Jonathan Fox and the Monster of Egypt by John McKellen, and I picked it up at indieplanet.us. All right, let's go into the next joint. And the next joint is a book I've been waiting for a hot minute. It is Ice Witch. And Ice Witch, so ice, like ice, and witch, like, I'll get you, my pretty, you know what I mean? That kind of joint. And you can find it over at peepgamecomics.com, but the publisher is lockitdown.com. Lockit, like a girl's name, lockit.com. And let's see, it was written by, I'm guessing it's Regina Sawyer, art by Antonio Crespo, letters and layout by Ed Watson, cover by Y. Sanders. A Blizzard season novel written by Regina Sawyer. So once I saw the concept art, I was like, this is going to be straight boss. The cover art is crazy. It's just, so this comic introduces us not so much to the character, but to the gestalt of the character. When I say gestalt, it's just a fancy word for the feel of the character. So it starts out as like winter, right? Mad winter. This solo young lady's walking through the winter. All she got is some tight-ass jeans, kind of white beater shirt, leather jacket with a hoodie, some gloves, and she's determined. Somebody has something that belongs to her, and she's going to get it. And so she stands outside of this. It looks like you remember the old, let me see, like the old Japanese movies where, it would be like this, or maybe Chinese, I'm not sure. A wall with the China gate and a sentry standing out front, and you got to get past him to get inside and talk to the people. So she walks up on a vibration like that. Sister has locks. Gorgeous, the way Crespo drew her, and you got this brother out there with glasses and an Bluetooth earpiece, basically saying "You shall not pass." You know what I mean? And so they get it on, and that's the bulk of the book. It's this incredible fight choreography. The art is boss. The art is kind of like, wow. It's not the art you would see in Marvel and DC. It's something that you might expect on Dark Horse and Image. The art is mad beautiful. The colors are muted, but they pop. There's a nice use of high contrast through it. It's a nice use of just outline and colored fields as opposed to details. How to describe it? It doesn't. The art is better than what you expect in a comic. That's all I can tell you. It straddles the line between fine art and, I would say, comic illustration. That's the best way I can say it. It straddles that line. Almost every cell would make a gorgeous poster. That's what I can tell you. And of course, certain cells and certain scenes are more than others. There's once or twice, like on page 11, where the art seems a little different, almost like there's another artist involved. I know there isn't, but it just seems like the art changed up. But then you go to 12, and then it's like it's just about like it's back again. But that was the only thing that I saw that was wild. And then of course there's a scene, the initial panel on page, was it 13, where she has her ice daggers or whatever, and it's just boss. This is some of the best fight choreography I've seen in a comic, like, ever. You know what I mean? And the thing that's so crazy is, the art definitely is whimsical in some places. The fighting is so intimate, so close, that there was a couple of times when I thought maybe somebody might get kissed instead of punched. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's just me projected onto the work, but it was just crazy. And of course, like I said, there's certain scenes that's just like, this brother spent a long time with this, and it's just, yeah, if there's no posters out with this stuff in it, it would be a crime. And I might have to report y'all to Loretta Lynch. I'm serious. This art is crazy. And of course, there's a couple of surprises in it. So just to make it clear, the whole book is a fight scene, is an extended fight scene. And we just get hints of what and what place these characters have in this world. We know that the main character, whose name I believe is Sanoa Dekin, we learn early on what her motivation is. The century that's preventing her from coming in and continuing her quest, we don't know what his motivation is other than he's supposed to contain her. And then, he's communicating with somebody inside the I don't want to say dojo, but inside the house. And so we don't know. All we know is this lady, remember Faces of Death, where Bruce Lee had to fight through various levels to get to the boss. I'm guessing that's what she's going to have to do. That's what Sanoa's going to have to do in order to meet her objective. But get the book. I'm looking for the print. I went to Lock It Down, and I went to another site, and I haven't been able to find it. Maybe it's available. I just blind. I haven't found it, but definitely get the print over at Peep Game Comics. Like, the girl is gorgeous, the protagonist is gorgeous, the art is boss. It's definitely something that you want in your collection. I got the digital, and I want the print, so hopefully the print will become available soon. Ice Witch by lockitdown.com, and you can get it over at peepgamecomics.com. All right, I briefly mentioned this comic book series before when I did my Halloween top 10 scary comics. So I'm just going to give a fuller account of this one. This is Gift Revolver, published by GB Vision, the Gutierrez brothers. Adrian Gutierrez is the co-creator and writer. Steve Gutierrez, Gutierrez. RREZ. So if I fucked up your names, my apologies. So this is a kind of let's see. Ancient evil enters modern times, right? Underground rapper, blue-collar worker that goes by the name of Gift Revolver. He gets visited by a poltergeist. She is a female. She touches him and gifts him with this weird, scary power. It almost feels like a poor man's Spawn. And I don't mean poor man in a derogatory sense. I mean poor man as, something more approachable, I guess. So he gets gifted with these powers. So he just continues on with his life, trying to make it happen with his MC career. He gets into, a little bit of a sparring match with a rival, I guess, rap crew or whatever in the alley, and some of his powers manifest, and they get scared shitless and they run away. So that's I think issue number 1. Issue number 2, another ancient presence comes, but instead of visiting, Gift Revolver visits this star basketball player that goes by the name of Trayvon Gaines, and he gets possessed or something. So now he's this competing faction. And then, of course, there are other things that happen in the book. And then this is supposed to happen in Pasadena, California. So Gift Revolver not only has these powers that might manifest, I guess, when he's hyper or gets angry or, agitated or whatever. He's also starting to be able to see things around him that look a little different. Do you remember that movie that the wrestler was in, Roddy Piper? I think that's the only movie he was in. People still talk about that movie. He put on the glasses that he could see Obey and all that kind of stuff. He could look at people and see that they look like monsters. It seemed like this brother, Gift Revolver, he's starting to get that ability. He look around at the regular townsfolk and he started to see that some of them aren't human. So that's happening. And then, it's a lot of characters that are involved. The main thing I think that sets this book apart is the idea of regular people from the city being embroiled in what looks like maybe a battle or a war with these ancient evil people. These guys could be champions or they could be puppets. The one thing I will say about this, and I don't say this much about comics, but the art from number 1 to number 3 has evolved. The art in number 1 and number 2 is dope. It's boss. I like it. The art on number 3 is like 2 times more refined. So I don't know what they did, if they found a bento bean or they found some kind of elixir or something, some magic potion, but the art on issue number 3 is mad dope. The same style, but just more refined. So I gotta get this in print. I gotta have it in print, period. I gotta have it in print. So Gutierrez Brothers, you guys did a fucking hell of a job on this book. I can't wait to see more Gift Revolver. All right, that's it. I try to keep these short, 3 books a piece. I got 12 books to go, 11 books to go. Love you guys. Hope all your dreams come true. Speaking of books, be kind enough to support your neighborhood podcast. If you like what I do, if I bring a smile to your face, if I give you something to think about, if I give you a good book to check out, be kind enough to go over to Amazon.com and pick up my sci-fi novel, Malcolm Mars. Malcolm like the prophet, Mars like the planet. 200-page and change sci-fi book on the Kindle format, $3. It's basically about 3 brothers who take their families to Mars to build a new civilization. They're tired of the bullshit on Earth. So you can think these people as space expats. You know what I'm saying? I was looking at the YouTube thing and I noticed that there's a lot of people going to Medellin. I think it's called Medellin, Cuba. It's a lot of black expats going there. And I was just thinking of Mars or something like that. In the 60s and the 50s, 50s, I think 50s mostly, 60s, there was a lot of talented black people that just couldn't take the racism in America and the violence and everything, so they went abroad. You know, a lot of musicians, they went abroad. I got this book called, I gave it to my cousin, called Notes and Tones, Musician and Musician Interviews by Arthur Taylor. Arthur Taylor was a drummer. He played with all the greats, Dizzy, Miles, maybe Gillespie, I'm not sure. But he took pen and paper and he started interviewing folk. This is during the 60s. This is right around the time when the Beatles replaced jazz, like rock and roll started to displace jazz as the music of the youth. And so he was interviewing folk, and a lot of people was going to Scandinavia to build families and stuff, and France and places, because of stress. So in my book, instead of us going to Europe, we go to Mars. So check it out. It's a fun read. You'll definitely enjoy it. Malcolm Mars on Amazon. Love you guys. Hope all your dreams come true. Follow me on Twitter, JOHNATHAN, SOUL on Twitter, on SoundCloud, on YouTube. I'm building my Facebook page now and coming soon to iTunes. Love you guys. Hope all your dreams come true. Please go pick up copies of Jonathan Fox, The Monster in Egypt, Ice Witch, and Gift Revolver. Gift like a present, revolver like, don't shoot, baby, don't shoot. Oh, by the way, if you go to giftrevolver.bandcamp, the brother can rap. Now, if you're used to lyricism, you know what I mean? It kind of has, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, it kind of has a 90s kind of vibe, that 90s kind of lyricism. The kind of stuff I used to buy over at mp3.com back in the day. You know what I mean? His lyricism is strong like Talib Talib, like a Lupe Fiasco, but it has, in my opinion, that kind of 90s, closer to the root type hip hop. Giftrevolver.bandcamp.com. Love you guys. Hope our dreams come true. Peace.